I'll get drive-through.
Oh no! It's boiling acid!
If Bruce Wayne could have given his life for your family, he would have.
What kind of a man has bats on the brain? Than a god am.
All right, Alexander. Batman Forever.
Wise, it is amazing.
Yeah, dude.
Review over. That's all we really needed to
Yeah, that's
say.
it. So that's going to be it. We'll see you next week when we talk about Batman and Robin.
Batman and Robin.
No, dude. Yeah, I really fucking like this movie. I came into it like I kept talking about how much I like Tommy Lee Jones in this movie, and I came out of it not really liking Tommy Lee Jones' performance in this movie.
Really, because I had the exact opposite reaction.
Really?
Yeah, no. So before we get started though, do you think Joel Schumacher like knew he was gonna make like the equivalent of the Mona Lisa whenever he set out to make this movie?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, Joel's. This movie is. I don't want to get into the like it's misunderstood or something like that, but it kind of is. Like it honestly kind of is.
I think that if you are looking for the quintessential comic book movie, a movie that just exudes comic book bullshit, it is this. It's Batman Forever.
Yeah,
like without a doubt.
And honestly, it is. I think one of the main complaints that people have about this movie is how colorful and bright that it is. But watching this movie after coming off the first two, like the Tim Burton duology, oh my god, it is so fucking refreshing. Like,
and I didn't even hate those movies as much as you did,
right?
But I love that's like one of the first things I have on top here is aesthetic is lighter and way more colorful.
Yeah,
like it's so bright. There's so many different colors. And that's I'm a sucker in movies like this for when they assign characters color schemes, and I love that.
And that is my favorite thing is like the Riddler scenes and the Two-Face scenes are very like bright and colorful. And then your Batman and for the majority of the movie, Richard Grayson, their scenes are very dark. And I have a lot to say about, so I messaged you right when I first started watching this the other night. And I don't remember exactly what I said. I'm not about to pull my phone out to find it. But I'm pretty sure I said something along the lines of just reminding you that Val Kilmer sucks as Batman. And then I finished the movie, and then I woke up the next day, and then I watched it again. Now, I'm not about to say that Val Kilmer is the best Batman, because he's not. Is he better than Michael Keaton, though? Probably, yeah, I think so. He gets a bad rap in this performance for being too stoic or seems like he's not really interested in doing it. If you look at Bruce Wayne as a person, he has been locked away in this fucking mansion with an old dude his entire life. He has no friends. He has no family. How do you think a person like that is going to interact with other human beings? Exactly the way that Val Kilmer is doing it in this movie.
Yeah, no, I love Val Kilmer as Batman and as Bruce Wayne. I think he knocks it out of the park with both of them. This movie is supposed to be in the same continuity of the first two. I kind of like to look at it in a vacuum outside of the first two though, because there is so many changes that they make. Because like this does not feel like the same movie as these other two.
Exactly.
This is an entire. That's like comparing. It's like comparing like The Dark Knight to Justice League. Like it's two completely different movies, two completely different feels. And so I just think it's it's unfair to even compare it to the first two. But like in terms of feeling complete, where it felt like everyone involved understood what they were setting out to do, this feels like everyone was on board with it. Everyone knew what they were making. Everyone knew how ridiculous it was,
Right.
and they leaned into it. But they didn't overdo it either. There was a great, like, one of the things we complained about with what's the one before this? Batman
Returns.
Batman Returns. Is how over the top Penguin was and gross. Two-Face and Riddler, I think, were so well done and so perfectly cast. And I know you mentioned you maybe went down a little bit about Tommy Lee Jones's performance.
I did.
I went up on it. So at the very beginning, we get this opening at the opening monologue when he's talking about like the coin flip and how when you flip the coin and you're waiting to see what it's going to be, how close you are to God, and like. I just thought it was such a good, creepy opening bad guy monologue. And honestly, he reminded me in this of his role in Natural Born Killers.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that. See, my issue is kind of on the flip side of yours, where I wish he had kept that character that he had in the opening monologue throughout the rest of the movie, because eventually it just turns into he's basically just Joker.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
And I will. I actually had a little part in my notes where I said, I was like, it almost felt like they were starting to kind of try to fill in for not having a Joker character in there.
Right.
So I do understand that, but still, overall, I love Tommy Lee Jones as Two-Face and Jim Carrey as the Riddler.
Incredible.
Has there ever been a more perfect casting in a movie?
I really don't think so.
I mean, they're near
Heath Ledger's Joker, maybe.
Yeah. No, that's probably the closest I can come to. But when there's a scene whenever they're destroying the Batcave,
yeah,
and he's running around throwing these like bat bombs, and he's just doing this commentary about it. And it's just so funny. Like, it's always risky to let a tamed animal out of the wild. It's just stupid shit like that. It just, I don't know. He really, I loved him as the Riddler. And the other two additions to the cast were Nicole Kidman as Dr. Chase Meridian, who was great for what she was.
She was fine.
I mean,
I don't know. Her character really didn't do much.
Anything.
It felt like all of her scenes were just throwaway. Like they could have been taken out, and it wouldn't have affected the final story.
Yep.
Like insert any person on the planet in that final scene with Robin, and I don't think it would have changed at all.
You could have done Alfred and it would have been the same thing.
Exactly.
She was really only there to bring out the whole, Bruce wants to be Bruce. And just like every Batman story proves that Bruce Wayne would walk away from Batman just for a little bit of pussy.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I guess let's get into the details real quick. Or do you got something else?
I just wanted to stop on Chris O'Donnell as Robin. That was the other addition to this movie. He was fine. He did good. I enjoyed it. It was fun.
He was okay. My thing is they play Dick Grayson, Richard Grayson, whatever. They play him off as like. There's the one particular scene after his family dies where they're at Wayne Manor and I don't know, the car that brought him there leaves, and then they're talking about what he's going to do there, and he goes, "Oh, well, I'm going to leave. I just stayed here to keep calls from social services and all this other shit."
Yeah.
You're a grown-ass man. You're like 27, dude. Just leave. What do you just go?
I don't know what
So I don't know what they're going for on that, because he's clearly not a fucking child.
No, but I think we're supposed to believe that he is.
Right.
I still, now knowing that Marlon Wayans was originally going to be Batman, I'm just like always
Yeah.
going to have that in the back of my head and be upset that we didn't get that. So
Yeah.
but yeah, Chris O'Donnell was fine as Robin.
Yeah, he was okay.
But yeah, tell us a little bit about the movie.
All right. So Batman Forever, directed by Joel Schumacher, produced by Tim Burton and Peter McGregor Scott. There's a little more to say about that producer role in a second. This was distributed once again by those fucking assholes at Warner Brothers. This had a nationwide release on June 16th, 1995. So we're starting to see a trend here with the Batman films coming out mid-June, June 16th, 1995. Had a runtime of 120 minutes, a budget of $100 million with a box office of $336.6 million. We've already run through the cast, but I'll run through it again anyway, just to play it safe. We got Val Kilmer as Bruce Wayne / Batman, Jim Carrey as Edward Nygma / The Riddler, Tommy Lee Jones as Harvey Dent / Two-Face, Nicole Kidman as Dr. Chase Meridian, and Chris O'Donnell as Dick Grayson / Robin. So, Tim Burton, producer for this film. Not really, no.
No.
Not really.
Not really.
So the whole thing, I kind of mentioned it a little bit at the end of the last one with Batman Forever, or Batman Returns, that Tim Burton was kind of getting pushed out the door. So the story as he tells it, and I'm guessing has just been taken as truth at this point, is that he was in a production meeting for this movie, and at one point it was going to be called like Batman Continues or something really stupid. But he was pitching his ideas, and I guess it seemed like the studio wasn't really interested in his ideas. And he said something along the lines of, "You don't want me to do this film, do you?" And so, no, they didn't, clearly, because now we have Joel Schumacher in the role. Schumacher and Burton were apparently close. So Schumacher wouldn't take the position as director for this film until he sat down and had dinner with Tim Burton and got Tim Burton's blessing to do so. So that's how we get Joel Schumacher in this film. I also found out, unfortunately, that Joel Schumacher passed away in 2020.
I was just about to bring that up. Yeah, Joel Schumacher passed away in 2020. And because of that, there's now been this resurgence of people who want to see what they call the Schumacher cut, which was evidently the first cut of the movie that had 40 to 50 extra minutes. I don't know, in the day and age of the Snyder Cut being so successful, I don't know why you wouldn't want to, you know?
I don't see a reason why not.
Yeah, like, I mean, dude, go drop it for, rent it for $5.99. I'll watch it. Shit, I'm a sucker for it. Or put it on HBO Max. Bump up the subscriptions for a month.
Yeah. And you've got the new Batman movie about to come out at the time of recording, 2 months.
Yep.
Fuck it, put it out. Get the Batman name more hyped up so more people go see that movie, because I mean, I'm super hyped for it. I know a lot of people are super hyped for it, but your movie is not going to do as much as Spider-Man No Way Home just did.
No.
And it's not going to do as much as the Doctor Strange movie that's coming out 2 weeks afterwards. No. So you might as well drop the shit and get as much hype around it as possible. And I hate saying that. I hate saying that because, like I said, I am really excited about that movie. But Marvel has shit stomped DC and the cinema game for so long that it stands no fucking chance.
Yeah, but hopefully this review series will teach us that Batman does deserve a chance.
Maybe.
So during the casting process, as with every fucking Batman film that we've seen so far, there was, of course, a lot of controversy around who was going to play Batman.
Yep.
And again, here's just a list of the folks that were originally considered before they finally went with Val Kilmer. Keanu Reeves, Alec and William Baldwin, Dean Cain, Tom Hanks, Kurt Russell, Ralph Fiennes, Daniel Day-Lewis, and Johnny Depp. The Dean Cain one kind of cracks me up because Dean Cain was Superman. So
yeah, weird.
I like that they even considered it, but whatever. Out of all the names on there, I think the only ones that kind of interest me, one would have been Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yeah.
Imagining the man who's now known as like the greatest method actor of all time, try to be Bruce Wayne. Like, can you imagine that shot whenever he puts on the new suit and you get the shot of it, the ass, and that was Daniel Day-Lewis's ass in that shot? Yeah, I just think that would be a pretty sick.
One that really stood out to me as a post Tim Burton movie, Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
His name didn't come up a
After
single
Tim Burton
fucking
movies.
time in either of the first two Batman movies, and then he gets fucking booted, and then Johnny Depp's name pops up. The fuck?
Yeah.
Did you mention
like
Kurt Russell?
Yes, I did mention Kurt Russell.
What the
Kurt
fuck?
Russell was,
That would have been
yeah.
fucking sweet.
Kurt, that would have been a very, I think, a good violent
yeah,
one.
yeah. They should still
Kurt
do
Russell would
that.
have been pretty.
They should
Kurt
do that
Russell would have
today.
been pretty dope. But yeah, and then as well, there was a shit ton of controversy about the Riddler role because originally, after Robin Williams was not cast as the Joker, he had been told, "Okay, we're going to use you as Riddler." That didn't happen.
There is one name on that list. I'm going to let you read your list, but there is one. I put one name down because it freaked me the fuck out.
I think I know which one it is. We'll go through it. We got John Malkovich, Brad Dourif, Kelsey Grammer, Mickey Dolenz, Matthew Broderick, Phil Hartman, Steve Martin, Adam Sandler, and Rob Schneider.
Michael Jackson.
Yeah. I did read that in some trivia later. He lobbied super hard and wanted to be the Riddler.
Michael Jackson in this movie as the Riddler.
That's the only other acceptable person that I would have.
What the fuck is happening? Okay. So I only have two names down for people who were in discussion for the casting of Robin. I've kind of gone away from like writing everyone down and just putting the people's names down who are just completely fucked and would have been insane. Number one, Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting, but decent enough. Number two, Christian Bale.
Yep.
What the fuck?
Yep. How cool would Christian Bale have been? And then years later, we were able to get him as the actual, like...
I don't think he would have got the Batman role if he had taken this Robin role.
No, and you might be right. He might not have.
Which is unfortunate.
he might not-
That would have really fucking sucked, but I really don't think he would have gotten it.
I'm going to be interested to see when we get to those movies, who else was considered outside of Christian Bale.
Oh, probably something fucking insane. Michael Keaton again. Johnny Depp.
Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas Cage.
Johnny Depp.
Oh, Nicolas Cage as Batman. That would have been so sweet.
So, I didn't mean to bring up Nicolas Cage, but I do have a little segue I want to bring up because it happened around this time. So, during this time period, oh my gosh, what's his name? The guy who directed Clerks.
Yes.
I hate that
I don't remember his name
Kevin
either.
Smith.
Yes.
Kevin Smith. Around this time, Kevin Smith was tasked to direct a Superman movie in which they were going to cast Nicolas Cage as Superman. During the production of it, I forget the name of the producer, but the producer was insistent that at the end, Superman had to fight a giant spider because, according to him, spiders were the
Stephen
apex
King.
predators of the insect world. No, but
It was
probably
Stephen King.
But so at this point, Kevin Smith was like, "I'm not doing this. I want to make a Superman movie, but I don't want to make this dumbass movie." And so he leaves. 2 years later, he goes to the premiere of the movie Wild Wild West. And what happens at the end of Wild Wild West? They fight a giant spider. And so he's sitting there and he's like, I'm going to wait and see who the producer is. And sure as shit, it was the same fucking producer. Kevin Smith tells the story on his podcast way better. And Kevin Smith was actually involved a little bit in the production of some of these movies too. But yeah, it was just,
God.
Nicolas Cage made it pop into my head. Yeah, fucking hilarious.
That is so fucked. That's so fucked. Real quick, if you're watching this on YouTube and I keep looking over here It's because I have Alex is over here, and when he's talking, I have this weird thing in my head where I can't look straight ahead while listening to him. I have to look at him. So I'm sorry if that fucking bothers you, but I physically cannot do it. It freaks me out. Did you read about the drama like on set involved in this movie?
A little bit. Run me through it though.
Okay, so I don't have like very detailed notes, but I do have a few things. Number one, Joel Schumacher got rid of Billy D. Williams and Marlon Wayans. It was not a Tim Burton move. It was Joel Schumacher. Interesting. Number two, Michael Keaton was originally slated to return, but when Burton got outed and Schumacher came in, Keaton said, fuck that, I'm out.
Yeah.
So we almost got 3 Batman movies with the same guy. Impressive.
Yep.
Tommy Lee Jones hated Jim Carrey. And Joel Schumacher hated working with Val Kilmer. And that's not just a Joel Schumacher thing. That is, and this is not like some crazy knowledge that I've always had about Val Kilmer. Like I literally looked into it because of this movie. Val Kilmer had like a big problem of being difficult to work with on set, apparently, back in these days, back in the 90s, early 2000s, where he was just insufferable and nobody wanted to work with him, and he was really difficult to work with. But yeah, it seems like no one had fun making this fucking movie.
Yeah, it really doesn't, which is so weird because I feel like, especially like the Tommy Lee Jones and Jim Carrey thing is kind of surprising because they have really good chemistry with each other.
Right.
And so it's kind of crazy to know that Offset, and I've got a quote here that evidently that Offset one time, which if I'm not looking at the screen, it's because I'm reading my notes. He said Jones came up to him and said, "I hate you. I really don't like you, and I cannot sanction your buffoonery."
Yeah.
Like,
so
I'm sorry, Tommy Lee Jones. Are you some kind of Shakespearean actor? Because if I'm thinking about this correctly, you're the jackass with half of his body painted in this movie. But okay.
Right. So I don't know if like the great chemistry that Carrie and Tommy had throughout this movie was like a testament to how great of an actor both of those guys are.
Yeah.
Or if I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think that kind of leads into what I didn't really like about Tommy Lee Jones' performance in this movie is it really felt like he didn't want to be there. And he was just kind of going through the motions and just kind of honestly piggybacking off of Jim Carrey's performance as Riddler. And that's me being genuine because I said fucking twice coming into this one on the last episode that I was very much looking forward to this movie because I love Tommy Lee Jones as Two-Face.
Dude, I don't like it. It's really funny because my love for him as Two-Face grew after watching this movie again. I really felt like he kind of nailed the crazy manic energy, but you know, I think Tommy Lee Jones is a good enough actor that this is the kind of movie that he could phone it in and he would still
That's fair.
Have a decent performance. But no, I mean that's a great point. I personally, like I said, I loved it, but I totally get it.
Yeah.
So, and just a couple of little fun trivia facts before we get into it. Billy D. Williams actually ended up voicing Two-Face in the Lego Batman movie, which I thought was funny. That he did eventually get to play Two-Face in some version of it.
Also, that Lego Batman movie is way better than it has any right being.
It slaps.
It is so good.
I love the Lego Batman movie. You already kind of mentioned a couple of the little things I was going to bring up. You know, Leonardo DiCaprio was really interesting as Dick Grayson because he was still pretty young in his career at that point in time. And so it just would have been interesting to see what would have happened for his career based off of that, I guess. But I mean, he had already done What's Eating Gilbert Grape by that point, and so he was pretty popular.
I don't think him missing this movie damaged him at all.
No,
and I really don't know if him being in it would have helped him much more than the roles he would have gotten after this anyway.
Yeah, and another thing that I find funny because I find it funny because Joel Schumacher and Val Kilmer didn't get along. Val Kilmer and Jim Carrey became lifelong friends after this movie.
Yeah.
So I don't know, just kind of funny. And this is also the first time we see Arkham Asylum.
Yes, it is. And then we also get a Tim Burton reference. The doctor at Arkham Asylum is Dr. Burton, and his hair is done just like Tim Burton's, to the point where it happened at the end of the movie, and I was like, was that fucking Tim Burton? Like, I had to go look it up. It was not Tim Burton, but it was definitely a direct reference to Tim Burton.
Yeah.
Pretty cool little Easter eggs.
Yeah, no. So with that being said, though, we want to get into it.
Let's fucking do it. I'm so stoked. I am so stoked.
Yeah, I am too. So with nothing more to be said. Batman Returns.
Woo. Batman Forever. Batman Forever.
Batman Forever. Sorry.
Too many Batman movies.
Returns. There's too many fucking Batman movies. This isn't going to be the first time I do this. So we get a great bat opening. Really sets the tone of how new this is going to be. A lot more kind of futuristic, almost Matrix-like in terms of some of the stuff we see. Yeah, a lot of neon colors. But we also see that comedy is definitely going to be a bigger part of this than the previous movies, which I think really helps it.
It does.
We get introduced to Tommy Lee Jones, who, like I mentioned, he immediately reminded me of his role in Natural Born Killers in terms of just the manic energy that he has and how crazy he gets with it. I loved it from the get-go. He has a really good monologue at the beginning that I thought was just very creepy and fun. Next, we see Batman come into the crime scene where Two-Face has a bunch of people at Wayne Enterprises held hostage. And we meet Dr. Chase Meridian, who Batman immediately has googly eyes for and is all over.
So this scene, the like back and forth finishing each other's sentences that Chase and Batman were doing, was so goddamn annoying. It was pissing me off. It was, I hated it so fucking much.
It's very heavy-handed from the get-go, and it can be a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Batman breaks in using a bunch of really awesome bat tools that we definitely have not seen in the previous movies. That was one of the first things that caught me about this, was that he really takes use of having like a really dope arsenal of tools.
Yeah. He has one towards the end. Well, I don't know actually if it's towards the end of the movie. I might be misremembering that. But he has one later in the movie that's like insane. Wasn't expecting it. Where he, get, I don't want to ruin it, but we'll get to it. I was like, damn, that was pretty fucking sweet.
Yeah, he's got a lot of cool stuff here, including, of course, the classic like batarangs and bat hooks and everything. And Bruce breaks in and is trying to save this hostage that is trapped inside of a vault, when Two-Face literally pulls the vault out of the fucking building with a helicopter with Bruce trapped inside. And as the very corny and really horribly acted security guard says, he goes, it's boiling acid.
Oh no, it's boiling acid!
Which, of course, I know. Everyone knows what boiling acid looks like. Like we've all been trapped in a bank vault when the boiling acid comes pouring on us.
I hate when that happens. That happened to me this morning.
Yeah. So I'm glad that he realized what was going on.
Yeah. Oh no, it's
the special
effects.
Oh no.
I have that down too. That was such a stupid fucking line.
Yeah. The special effects here are really, really well done. They really stepped it up in this movie, using a good mixture of practical and VFX, which I appreciated. But so Batman eventually escapes using this very complicated bat orang tool, and he uses a bat welder to weld off the vault. And then it just so happens that the guy swings from up here and down into a hole that's in the side of the building there already safely. Kind of ridiculous, but fucking dope.
Yeah. It's a comic book movie.
It's a comic book movie. When Two-Face smashes Batman into a building and he thinks that he's dead, but we actually see that Batman is on top of the helicopter, which he then brings down and crashes. But we see Two-Face escape. We do see that the helicopter crashes into the Statue of Liberty.
Hated that. Hated that.
I was like, oh, like you couldn't even like change it up a little bit, like do something a little bit different.
It was straight up just the Statue of Liberty.
Like I would have even accepted it holding a sword instead of the torch.
Yeah.
But it literally was the Statue of Liberty. So yeah,
that sucks.
that was kind of ridiculous. But next we see Wayne Enterprises. Literally looks like it came straight out of the Matrix. And we see Edward Nygma.
So there's a painting shot before this of the city that's done CGI. And look, I understand that CGI was still very early at this point in 95. But holy fucking shit, it looked so bad. It was awful.
I think it looked that bad.
It looked worse than a video game. Like it looked terrible. It was bad. I fucking hated it.
Wow, I thought it looked really good for the time.
Oh, absolutely not. It looked terrible. I mean, for the time, it may have looked better, but I thought it looked fucking awful.
I don't know. I liked it. I thought like the shot of like the Atlas shrugged holding the globe or whatever. I thought it looked cool.
It looked so bad.
But yeah, so we're inside of Wayne Enterprises where we're in a laboratory where Bruce Wayne walks in and is immediately greeted by Edward Nygma, who has an idea. And one, Edward Nygma is obsessed with Bruce, obviously is very, very like thirsty for him. But he has created this device that people put it on their head and it'll stream shows and stuff right into their brain. Makes them think that they're right inside of a show. Bruce says to him, "Hey, that's a cool idea. Let's have a meeting and talk more about it." And Edward Nygma, being a reasonable man, says, "No, I want a response now." And Bruce says, "No. Well, then no." And Edward Nygma is like, "That's it. I'm bringing everyone down."
Yeah.
I just need it to be known that I didn't realize how attractive Val Kilmer was until he showed up as Bruce Wayne in this movie. He was a good looking man for the time. Yeah. And that, like, he's got like the jaw for Bruce. Like, I don't know. Very good Bruce Wayne.
So correct me if I'm wrong. Unless, did I fucking miss something? Or between Batman Returns and this movie, Wayne Enterprises just kind of popped up and became a massive company? Or did I just miss them mention that in the first two? Because I don't remember anything about this company existing.
I just don't think they mention it. Because I mean, Bruce meets with, the not the mayor of the last movie, the guy played by
Commissioner Gordon.
Oh my god, no, not Commissioner Gordon. The evil guy with the crazy hair played by Christopher Walken.
Yes, God, very memorable character.
Yes, very memorable character. As like business owners. So like I think that is implying it. But yeah, they don't ever really like do anything to like overly talk. Like there's never any scenes of them like at Wayne Enterprises or anything. Right. So yeah, no, this is like kind of the first time we really see Wayne Enterprises.
Because like in the first two, they're just kind of like, he's rich.
Yeah, that's basically.
There you go.
He's rich. But yeah, so we get this really cool 90s tube transportation sequence of Bruce going back to the mansion. And then Miss Chase decides to light up the bat signal because she is incredibly thirsty for Batman. So thirsty that she lights up the bat signal. And we then get a very sexually tense scene between Meridian and Batman.
Yeah. She hit the fucking bat signal just to drop stupid one-liners and be horny. That's it.
Yeah.
You dumb bitch. What are you doing?
Yeah, she was basically like Two-Face likes coins, and so you can use that against him. And Batman is like, is this why the fuck he called me up here? And she's like, well, yeah. And he's like, bitch, that is not just like, this is for emergencies. And then he makes out with her. Yeah,
she's like, yeah, it's an emergency how wet this pussy is. Get in my pussy, Bruce. Or not Bruce, Batman. She doesn't know he's Bruce.
Get in here, baddie. Yeah.
So dumb.
It's fucking ridiculous. But so then we see Nygma is in his lab working on his project. when the boss who canceled the project, who was already mean to him, comes in and says, "You leave." And Nigma's like, "Nope, you're going to test my device," and puts the device on his head and starts sucking out the guy's brain waves, which then makes Nigma smarter and therefore crazier.
It also makes Nigma go beautiful, incredible. Yeah, I saw that and I was like, that's the scene for Bruce Almighty. Like that's
there's a couple of like Bruce Almighty references in this, I'm pretty sure. And then after he steals his intelligence, he throws him out of a fucking building, because that's what all good Bat villains do, is throw people out of buildings.
Yep.
We then get a shot of seeing how Maroni turned Dent into Two-Face. Very sad. And then we cut back to Wayne Enterprises where the cops are. Nigma is faking how sad he is. And he's planned this out to basically make it look like a suicide. He created a fake video of
the video looks hilarious.
Odor just get ready to the hog.
He just yeets himself out the fucking window. Commissioner Gordon looks at this like sheet of paper as he's talking to Bruce, and he's just like, "Yep, seems like a clean cut dry suicide to me." I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
Let's get out of here.
Yeah. They do such a good job. Like the first two movies make Commissioner Gordon look like a dumbass, but they don't really like play into it. This movie is like, Commissioner Gordon's a fucking dumbass, and he knows it, and you know it too.
They just treat him like shit in this, man. And then Bruce finds the first riddle, and thus begins the chase of the Riddler. We then see Nigma's transformation scene at his house as he starts to become the Riddler, and then he leaves a riddle at the Wayne Manor.
So, question.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a Riddler that already exists in this universe? If not, who is who's on all these like figures and bobbleheads and the big ass machine in Nigma's apartment that he has?
Yeah.
And if it is another Riddler, why do we not know who it is, and who is it, and what is going on with that?
So
confused.
I looked into this, and I am pretty sure it's actually supposed to be a game show host that is in this universe. And I think that explanation was actually in some of the footage that didn't make the final cut of this. But no, I completely, because the action figure that he has is like the exact comic book Riddler.
Right.
Yeah. And then he makes a costume and it's very similar to that one, but not completely the same.
Well, see, he has that like fortune teller like little game in his apartment, and I was like, I mean, that's a good explanation for like one part of it, but no one makes fucking action figures and bobbleheads of those stupid like fortune teller machines. Like no one does that. So I was very confused on like what was going on with that. That does make sense though. Release the fucking Schumacher cut, god damn it.
Give me the Schumacher cut.
Fuck.
Yeah, no, right there with you. And then Bruce shows up to an appointment with Chase. And he knocks down her door because she was kickboxing and screaming as she was kickboxing.
Who does that?
Because that's what people do. Yeah, normal people, I guess. They have a very flirtatious scene where he asks about the Riddler and about Two-Face, and she asks if he has a fascination with bats, and he's like, "I gotta go. But do you want to come with me to the circus ball?" And she's like, "Sure." So we go to the circus ball thing.
They go to the circus that's being televised.
Yes.
Because everyone loves to sit down on their couch and watch the circus on television. What fucking circus gets televised?
Oh, I can remember the days where Papa would sit me on his knees on a Sunday and we'd turn it on with our bag of peanuts. We'd watch the elephants roll around on the balls and the lion tamers. It was such a fancy. Oh, that never happened. No, my dad didn't hang out with me on Sundays.
No. I think the lion tamer you're talking about was Chris Jericho again. Hey guys, if you're watching this and you never watched any of our shit before or never listened to any of our podcasts before, we did a wrestling podcast before this. That's why there's so many wrestling references.
Yes.
Anyway,
lots of wrestling, lots of trash.
Back to the circus live on ESPN Plus.
Back to the circus on ESPN, the Ocho.
The Ocho.
So the Flying Graysons are performing and flipping around, and we see young Dick Grayson with his family in like the classic Robin outfits.
So sweet, so fucking cool. I loved that.
I did too. I like that they use that. I love little shit like that. And we get another at some point. He mentions the name Nightwing, and I was like, ah, damn.
He said it. He did it. That's him. Hey, that's him.
And at some point during the circus, though, Two-Face shows up with a bomb that will blow up if Batman does not reveal his identity. The Graysons work to defuse the bomb, and young Dick ends up pushing past the other Graysons and pushing the bomb off into the water, saving everyone. But during this, Two-Face kills his parents.
Yep.
And as Batman will tell us later on, a young boy at a show, 2 shots will ring out, and a monster will emerge.
So Bruce fucking screams, "Harvey, I'm Batman." Screams it. Not a single fucking person hears him say it.
No one notices. Everyone just goes about their day.
Yeah. Well, no, that doesn't fucking happen.
Was close enough that Chase could, like Meridian could have heard him.
She was sitting right fucking next to him, and she goes the whole movie like, why does this guy look exactly like the dude I want to fuck real bad that wears that Batman suit? Why is Bruce so obsessed with bats? This is so crazy. And then she eventually finds out he's Batman, and she's like, what the fuck? You're Batman?
Batman?
Dumb as fuck.
But because Bruce feels responsible, he decides to adopt 22-year-old Dick Grayson. He doesn't
even adopt Dick Grayson. This is actually Val Kilmer adopting Chris O'Donnell and like for shoot.
This was them arriving at Val Kilmer's house. Like, I don't want to do Dad. And he's like, I'm gonna leave, and he's like, well, that's the option. You're 22. You can leave. And he goes, no, I don't want to do Dad.
Oh my god, we're shitting on this movie a lot, but genuinely, I fucking love this movie.
I love this movie, but it's fucking stupid. But yeah, so Dick is gonna leave and decides that I'm gonna go out and go kill Two-Face. And he gets on a bike, and Bruce is like, "Hey, come fill up your bike before you leave." And then Bruce has all these bikes, and he's like, "You can keep one if you stay."
He bribes him with a motorcycle and food.
Yeah,
and Dick's just all right.
Yeah, whatever, fine, we'll take it. And Bruce has this realization that Dick will probably become him. We then get a really cool sequence of Two-Face chasing Batman, where we see the Batmobile drive up a wall that really served no purpose to the actual story itself. It was just pretty cool. We then see Enigma become the Riddler and show up to Two-Face's hideout as a partnership, and he'll use the device to find out who Batman is if Two-Face steals enough valuables to start Enigma Tech.
So I want to drop something in real quick. In my notes, watch fucking movies and have patience and let things play out, because here's a prime example of that. Enigma shows up at Two-Face's lair, and I'm like, how the fuck did he know where to go? And then not even 45 seconds after I wrote that down, Enigma explained how he found Two-Face's lair. So please watch the movie and just fucking pay attention, and shit will play out most of the time.
I'm so me and my partner, whenever we're watching movies, we'll do that. We'll be like, oh my god, oh
yeah. So let it play out. Ask your questions after the fact.
Yes. We see Two-Face's thugs start to ransack and rob museums and jewelry stores and rich people. We also get a really cool scene of Robin doing some like laundry kung fu, where he's like folding the laundry while.
Why you do that?
Yeah, I don't know.
Why you do that like that? You're just showing off for Alfred? You want to fuck Alfred or something?
What's going on there, dude? The way he talks to Alfred this whole time, he sounds super thirsty.
Yeah, what's going on there, Dick? You trying to give some dick to Alfred or something? What's going on there, bro?
Throw some dick. Yeah. Dick is trying to be a lying dick.
Dick trying to throw some dick at Alfred. I'm kind of. Anyway.
Sugar daddy. Yeah. We then see that Enigma has created Enigma Tech in a matter of literally like a day, and it's all of a sudden a multinational corporation.
And it's bigger than Wayne Enterprises.
Yes, bigger than Wayne Enterprises.
Overnight.
They do tell us that. And he creates this device that will stream this stuff into everyone's house, and then he'll pull everyone's brainwaves, and he's going to be smarter and better. It's
called the Enigma box.
Enigma.
Alex, what shape is the Enigma box?
Like a cone.
Yeah. The box.
Cone
The box in the shape of a cone.
Yeah,
Fuck!
I mean, the Xbox is shaped like a box. Okay. Boxing is not shaped like, it's in a square ring. Yeah, that was a fucking
Yeah, that's fucking
dumbass
stupid. Just change the name
Stupid
of it. Change the name of it or change the fucking prop. I don't know.
You could have literally called it the Nigma cone.
Yeah. Or the who fucking cares? Call it anything.
ColecoVision.
That fucking pissed me off.
Yeah. And so Alfred is looking for Dick and he can't find him. And so he decides to go down to the Batcave. And we get this very extended sequence of Dick doing these flips and gymnastic thingies into the Batcave. And he wanders in and finds the Batmobile. And he's like, you know what would be a good idea? If I drove this right now. And so he saves a woman, but then gets overwhelmed by the thugs, to which Batman has to come and save him. He wants to join Bruce, and Bruce is like, no, I don't want you to be a part of this world. We do also get our first appearance of the dramatic Bat, where he comes flying in and fluttering.
It's good to
so
see
that cool.
the Cape Kink is still alive and well in these movies.
Yeah, no, I like it. We then cut to Nigma's launch party, where we see Drew Barrymore make her appearance as one of Two-Face's thugs and Nigma's like party date.
Mm-hmm.
During this, Bruce gets convinced to try the box out, in which it absorbs his memories and his fears and stuff, effectively meaning that Two-Face now knows who Batman is.
Plot hole.
Yeah.
Bruce turned this down because he thought that Nigma could be taking people's memories from them. He even says before he goes and does it, I'm not doing that. You're going to take my memories.
Yep.
So then he goes and does it after doubting it twice, and Nigma gets Bruce's memories. Seems legit. Way to go, dumbass. You have no one to blame but yourself. I don't know.
No, it's entirely his fucking fault.
Yeah.
But so during this, Two-Face shows up, and Nigma did not know Two-Face was going to show up and was pretty upset about that. Again, something I didn't really understand, why they didn't just have Two-Face know that, or why they didn't have Riddler know that Two-Face was going to show up. But during the fight, they end up trapping Batman underneath some graveler, but he's saved by Dick in the classic Robin outfit. They get back to the cave, and this is where we see Robin name drop, well, what about Nightwing or something like that? So that was cool. And then we see Nigma showing Two-Face that Bruce is in fact Batman. Batman tells Robin that he's going to retire because women. And then we get a flashback of how Bruce became Batman. Chase kisses him, and because she's already made out with Batman, she's like, wait a fucking minute.
Yeah.
And Bruce and Chase are having dinner when Two-Face and the Riddler show up. They destroy the Batcave, and we get the great sequence of Riddler making jokes, throwing a baseball.
Joygasm!
Joygasm!
Incredible.
We get this one where he like throws one of the bombs like he's a baseball pitcher, and then when he stands up, he like spits and grabs his nuts.
Yeah,
it's just
incredible.
Little improv shit like that couldn't have been done if it wasn't Jim Carrey. And yeah, during this though, Chase gets kidnapped, and they leave behind another riddle. Bruce wakes up, solves the riddle, and is like, all right, I got to go to this island and go save Dr. Meridian. And he goes down there, and we get this. They realize that all the suits have been destroyed except for this awesome, really dope, cool as fuck prototype suit.
Very
and he puts
cool.
it on, and we get a great shot of Bat butt.
Bat butt.
Bat
weird
butt.
shot.
I mean, I loved it. It was good. It was artistic.
It was straight
beautiful.
ass.
No, I mean, they really. I mean, they got that ass into that shot.
Yeah. That is a cool fucking suit, though. I love that suit.
That was for the girls and the gays, man.
Yeah.
And dope as shit suit. It really is a cool suit.
Another one of those things where like a lot of people hated it and still hate it.
I don't know why.
And I don't understand.
No, I love that suit. I think it's
also
classic.
I had that suit as an action figure with Robin when I was a kid too, so
I'm pretty sure that I did too.
that might play
Pretty
a little
sure I
bit into it, but cool fucking suit. I don't understand. Y'all be hating on shit for no fucking reason.
Y'all people are some miserable bitches.
Yeah.
And during this, Batman is like, should we get there by air or by sea? And then Robin shows up and he's like, why not both? And of course, Alfred has made Robin a dope suit as well. And so
What's
Batman
the R
takes
stand for? And I watched this with my girlfriend who's never seen this movie. And first at some point, fuck, I forget who said it. I think Two-Face refers to bats as night rats. So now we keep referring, like I told her we were going to record this tonight and she was like, oh, are you doing the one on Night Rat Man? And I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
Also, when Bruce asked Dick what the R stands for, he says, what's the R stand for? And I immediately went,
R. What's that stand for?
Ralph. I have never heard her laugh so fucking hard.
But yeah, so Robin shows up, Robin takes the boat, Batman takes the plane, they're ready to go. They're going to fuck some people up because they're not just friends, they're partners. We get a cool sequence of Riddler and Two-Face like playing Battleship to try to destroy the boat and the plane. Both ships get destroyed and they crash and arrive on the island. And as soon as they arrive on the island, Dick goes, holy rusted metal, Batman. And Bruce is like, what? And then he's like, no, like the island is made of really holy rusty metal. Like you need to be careful.
Holy rusted metal, Batman! Huh? You're grown, it's all metal, it's full of holes, you know? Holy!
Oh.
That was great. I loved that. That was such a good line.
Holy rusty metal, Batman. What? Like literally rusty metal, bro.
Holy. There's holes in it. Holy.
Holy.
Incredible.
Dick beats up Two-Face. Tommy Lee Jones peak here. And Dick saves Two-Face from falling down a cliff. But when he pulls him back up, he gets a gun pulled on him. We then see that Bruce has been put into this water trap thingy with spikes at the bottom. But then he uses these really dope bat rocket skates to save the day.
Super sweet.
And we then get Riddler's final outfit changed into this like primarily white and then green question. It looks so sick. It looks so good.
I'm pretty sure that was the suit that they used in like all the marketing too, because that's the one that I think of when I think of Jim Carrey's Riddler. I think of this suit. Yeah, super fucking cool.
I love it. Love it. And we then see that Dr. Meridian and Robin are held up in these cages hanging above water, the water spike trap, and Batman must choose who he's going to save. And he gives the Riddler a riddle, and the answer is a bat. And how something about being blind is a bat, I don't know. It's really bad.
He's wearing a sonar suit.
Yeah, he's wearing a sonar suit, and so he knocks out the lights, and then he's able to take everyone down. And whenever he knocks out the lights and the electronic thing, Riddler's brain gets fried because all of the brain juice gets sucked out of him. And then we see both Dr. Chase and Robin fall down into the pit. Batman dives down, and for 45 seconds he falls and eventually saves both of them somehow. We then see Two-Face has a gun on everyone, and he's about to shoot him, and Batman reminds him that you got to use your coin. That's what you got to do.
Yeah.
And Two-Face is like, you're such a good friend, Batman. And he goes to flip his coin, and Batman magically pulls like 100 fucking coins out of his pocket and throws them up there. And everyone knows that Two-Face is scared of multiple shiny objects at once, and so he just falls.
Yeah.
And he's dead. Yeah, and so he's gone. He's dead. Nigma is horribly disfigured and his brain is all fucked up. We then see that he's in Arkham, and he says he knows who Batman is, and when they ask him who it is, he pops up in his straitjacket and he goes, I'm the Batman.
Very cool. Very nice.
And then we get a shot of Batman and Robin running with the Batlight behind him.
Yep.
And that is Batman Forever.
Excuse
Amazing.
me. Oh, Yeah. So there are a few things. At some point, Bruce Batman uses this gadget that makes his entire suit fireproof. Questioned that a little bit. That was a little strange, but the shot of him running out of the fire that we got out of that was well worth it. It made it all worth it. So that was really cool. We also get the strange bat smile thing when Chase decides that she doesn't want Batman and she would rather have Bruce Wayne. Whoa. Yeah. It was so fucking so weird.
Creepy. I hated it. I was like,
oh man,
why
that it almost killed it for me. This movie really does hit you over the head with the Bruce's parents are dead thing. But apparently that's
over.
Yeah. But this doesn't really. I don't want to blame blame Joel Schumacher because we've talked about it already. The Schumacher cut. There's a lot more that goes into the origin story of Batman that's a lot darker than what we got in this movie. That I feel like would have made those scenes make more sense. So I don't want to. That's a Warner Brothers thing. That's not a Schumacher thing. That's not a this movie thing.
No, it's not. It's just you can't really blame that on them, I guess.
It's unfortunate.
It is. It's unfortunate, but overall though, it doesn't ruin the movie. And I love that. Like this really, like I was telling a couple of guys on my team at work today, because I've been watching this off and on all day, in between calls, and I was like, this movie is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Like this might be one of my favorite, like, just fun, stupid relaxation movies to watch.
Yep. It's very fun. It was very like the first two Batman movies are the first one. Jack Nicholson can carry you through it and get you to the end. Batman Returns, dude, that fucking, I mean, I was struggling to finish it. I really, truly was. This movie was enjoyable. I didn't lose interest at any point. I mean, we put this fucking movie on at like 10 o'clock and it went off at midnight. My girlfriend fell asleep towards the end and I was tired as shit too, but I was like I was staying with it. Like I was willing to watch the rest of it.
You were in there for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I definitely think I told you I watched the first half of this movie last night and I didn't love the first half of the movie. The second half of the movie though, I was like, okay, this is great. Like whenever Chris O'Donnell showed up, which I know I kind of complained about him a little bit, but like he really did, the whole Batman and Robin dynamic really, really helped it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was happy with the movie.
It's like Chris O'Donnell's not bad in this role. It just feels like they could have maybe gotten someone better. And that's what kind of sours it. Like there's nothing inherently wrong with his performance. It's just that it could have been someone else.
It could have just probably been someone better, like Marlon Wayans.
Yeah, but Chris O'Donnell was fine. I thought his performance in this movie was good. I didn't hate it. I thought he was very good. It's just, I've already said it twice now, but it could have been someone else.
It could have been. Yep.
So what do you want me to go first on the rating or do you want to go first on your rating?
I think I went first last week. Why don't you go first?
Okay. I struggled with mine. When I originally finished it, I had it at a 6, tied with Batman 1989. No, fuck it. I was like, I don't want to put it higher. Like I would hate to put it higher than Batman because then everyone's going to be like, oh, he's so wrong. He's dumb. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Fuck every single one of you. This movie fucking rules. I'm not going to go crazy with it, but I am going to give it a 7 out of 10.
That's exactly what I'm giving it to, for the exact same reason.
Yeah.
I believe I gave the first one a 6.5 or a 6.
Yeah.
I give this a 7. I like it better. It's more fun. It's ridiculous. And at the end of the day, when I watch a superhero movie, let me rephrase that. When I watch a superhero movie like this, unless it's going to be a Dark Knight or the Batman type movie, I just want it to be fun. I don't want it to take itself seriously. I don't want it to try too hard. I just want it to be fun. I want there to be cool action sequences, cool gadgets, fun, interesting villains.
Yep.
And that's what this did. This had all of that. And so, yeah, I am not afraid to admit that I like this better than, Batman 1989.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is me coming out of my shell and finally watch the movies. Our opinion does not fucking matter.
No.
We are simply here to
watch it.
Tell you what our opinion is. You didn't ask for it. You don't want it. That's fine. However, I'm still going to give it.
Yep.
And you're still going to hear it. If you disagree with us, tell us what you thought of this movie. Tell us what you thought of any of the movies we have done so far. We gave The Room a fucking 10. You want to tell us how crazy we are for doing that? Please do. I want to hear about it.
Tell us.
But yeah, I fucking love this movie, dude. Very good. Yep. I thoroughly enjoyed it. We are getting Batman and Robin next, which is... I feel like this movie has gotten some shit because of Batman and Robin, and not inherently because this movie is so bad, just because it is directly related to Batman and Robin. So yeah. But Val Kilmer is out. He is not going to be Batman in the next movie. Who do we get in the next Batman movie?
George fucking Clooney.
Why? Here's my prediction going into Batman and Robin next week. I am not going to hate that movie because of anyone but George Clooney.
Same.
That is my prediction. I know that I, as a child, and as a high schooler, loved Batman and Robin because of Arnold Schwarzenegger and his performance as Mr. Freeze. Incredible.
Yep.
So good. George Clooney as Batman makes no fucking sense. But yeah, we'll get to that next week. We'll talk more about that next week. But yeah, that's my prerequisite going into it, and then we'll see if my mind changes.
So, question. Are you going to buy Batman Forever on Blu-ray?
Absolutely, yeah. I will actually. I don't know if I'll do it anytime soon. I will do a thing where once I buy the movie, I'm still looking for The Room. That's a movie that I'm actually still actively looking for on Blu-ray is The Room. But if I find a movie now that we're doing, if you're listening to this on Spotify or anything, this is just a normal episode to you. If you're watching this on YouTube, this is fucking weird because you're looking at Alex and I in the flesh on the webcams. But yeah, so now that we're doing this, I'm going to do a thing where if I get a movie that we've covered previously that I said I would buy, I'll show it off. But yeah, I will definitely get Batman Forever on Blu-ray. I really enjoyed it. Very, very, very good. Very fun. Don't go into it thinking it's going to be not every movie has to be serious. Not every movie has to be depressing. You can have fun watching movies. You guys know that, right?
I am. And I mentioned this. I love movies. I'm in a couple movie groups on Facebook. And I love literally everything from Batman Forever all the way to the most obscure fucking Indonesian horror films. And I shared this post in this one group the other day, where it was a screenshot of this tweet of this guy who was like, I don't understand how people can tell the difference between good movies and bad movies. Because 90% of the time I just watch a movie and I'm like, I had fun watching that movie. And
exactly.
I think people need to be able to I can objectively tell you that Batman Forever isn't a good movie, but it's fun and it's great.
Yeah.
And people need to be able to do that. You need to be able to just enjoy and just have fun with what it is that you're seeing.
Yep. That is the thing.
But yeah,
that really is the main thing. No, this movie is not great. It didn't have some great story. Or I was going to go into this long, drawn-out spiel about how Val Kilmer's performance as Batman was fucking brilliant, and he played into the role, and all this and all that. And I could easily do that, because I do think that's correct. But you don't have to read into shit like that in every movie. Not every movie has to have some underlying, crazy, deep meaning to it. Batman Forever is fun. Period.
Yep.
End of sentence. That's all it was. My ratings are not, this movie is this good 8 out of 10.
No.
My ratings are based off how much I enjoyed watching it, and realistically, I should have given Batman Returns a lower rating. But Batman and Robin's up next, so I didn't want to give it too low of a rating because I don't know how that's really going to go for me.
I don't know how bad. Batman and Robin's gonna be the real barometer for how my ratings are gonna shake out.
Yeah, that's the first true like.
Yes.
And that's also a thing of like, is it as bad as people say? Because a lot of people say that this movie's terrible.
Yeah,
I'm here to tell you right now, it's fucking not. It is very fun.
Great.
It is very, very enjoyable. Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, let's go ahead and wrap it up. We'll see you next week when we do Batman and Robin. Alex, do you have anything else to add?
No, go watch this movie and don't be a judgmental little bitch whenever you're watching shit.
Yeah, bitch. You bitch. All right, I'm done bullying everyone. All right, yeah, we'll see you next time. It's been real. It's been fun, but it ain't been real fun. Batman and Robin next week. Bye.